All right, and welcome back to another episode of Just Say Guay. We're here at White House Field with Hal Hughes, the shortstop of the Harwich Mariiners. Tonight he has a playoff game against the Chatham Anglers after they won last night in Chatham. Hal, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, happy to be here, man.
Thank you. So most of my audience is people back home in Bedford, Mass, and also people at Providence College. So they may not know a lot about you the way I do. So could you just introduce yourself, what team you play for, maybe college, stuff like that?
Yeah. So obviously I'm Hal Hughes. I play for LSU. I'm an infielder. I play shortstop for the Harwich Mariiners. It's my first season up in the Cape, and it's been a great year so far. I'm happy to be here.
Absolutely. So you mentioned LSU. You just finished your sophomore season, and how far did you guys go in the tournament? You said it was 16.
Made to the Super Regionals.
Super Regionals.
So we lost to Florida State.
Okay, so an ACC team. Obviously, it's such a hard thing to win the College World Series. You saw Vanderbilt come on top. What do you want to improve personally going into next season? Because obviously with the team, it's always championship.
Yeah, definitely. Something personally that I'm trying to work on is my offensive game. Trying to become a little better hitter. I'm a pretty good defensive player, so that's something that I've always taken a lot of pride in. But also, going back to school, we got a lot of older guys leaving the program. So something that I want to do is kind of step into a leadership role into next season.
Absolutely, that's something you definitely can strive for. I think playing in the Cape League can help, especially the best competition. So I learned that you're from Norman, Oklahoma, which is definitely Sooner country. I assume growing up you were probably a Sam Bradford fan.
Yeah, well, actually, I went to high school in Oklahoma, so I only lived there for 4 years.
Okay, so
But I was around it all the time. My dad was actually the head coach at Oklahoma.
oh wow. So given the connections you have, obviously the SEC is the best conference for baseball. What drew you to LSU specifically?
Yeah, when I was the whole recruiting process, I kind of found that LSU, in my eyes, was the best. It's the premier program in college baseball. You know, they have great tradition, great coaches, great facilities, all that, great fan base. So for me, when they offered me to play there, it was my decision. That was pretty easy. You know, I didn't want to play anywhere else.
Okay, so at LSU, there's only a few teams or colleges where pretty much every sports team is good. I'd say LSU is one of them. Most of them are in the SEC or the Big Ten. Schools like Ohio State, Michigan, you can say even Stanford on the Pac-12. What's it like being at a sports culture at LSU where pretty much every team is good? You're on the same campus where Shaquille O'Neal, Ben Simmons, Leonard Fournette, the Honey Badger, they weren't there too long ago.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting, man. Like, going to football games in the fall, it's awesome. People live for game days, tailgate, and all that stuff. It's a lot of fun. And also, our basketball team was really good this past year. So it's pretty cool being around such great athletes. And like you said, there's a lot of tradition there. It's pretty cool when those alumni kind of come back. You know, kind of see what it takes to get to where they were at. So it's pretty awesome, man. I love it.
Now, obviously, I think they are the biggest sport. I'd say two sports where it happens the most. Guys in AAU for basketball, they'll play against each other in college. Guys who play juniors in college hockey, a kid at Providence will have a friend at Boston University that plays. What's it like playing against kids that you play with year-round that are in the Cape League on other teams?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. You end up playing – baseball is a pretty small world, and you kind of end up playing against the same kids throughout high school, college, and even, like you say, like up here in the Cape. And it's probably even going to continue into professional baseball. So it's pretty cool. Like, you get to know a bunch of kids, even if you're not on the same team, just playing against them. So you build relationships with kids that kind of way.
Okay, so this is your first season in the Cape League. Cape Cod is completely different in Louisiana. It's different than Oklahoma. You got to live with Biz and Daniel Cabrera up until he recently left the team for a class. But what is it like sharing that experience with someone that you're comfortable with on a daily basis?
It's pretty nice being around my teammate because it kind of makes the transition a little bit easier. For Daniel, I know it's a lot different because he'd never been up here in his life. So just the food's different, obviously, than Louisiana. Smaller town, which is kind of cool. But yeah, it was great. And it's like you said, it's easier to be up here with someone that I know real well.
Now, is the Cape League something that's very talked about down in the South? Like when you're a kid and you think about where you want to play college, but is it something that's discussed?
I wouldn't say so much when you're younger, but not until like you get into college or like high school. Kids talk about the Cape League. I'm sure like up here it's different from what you grew up with, huh?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it's the biggest deal. I mean, Business Sun Tower, they love it. And all the kids that come down here, it's something to look forward to over the summer.
Right. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And, like, we got the camps, the kids' camps, all those kids, so they grow up around it, and it's a pretty big deal. But I would say it's a little different in the South just because it's not right here.
Yeah. I think also it's a big deal up here in New England because, we got the Red Sox. The Yankees aren't too far. It's even though it's not the most successful baseball region in terms of producing players, it's a very fan favorite region.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, I always sometimes I was thinking about it when I first started working here, walking on the field. You're on the same field where a lot of legends have played, and even some of the top players recently. So, do you think about how this is where probably Aaron Judge walked or played, and same with guys like Chris Bryant, and those guys made it. They're the top 5 players in baseball.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, it's really cool to be able to play on the same field as those kind of players. It kind of makes you realize, like, how close you are, or, like, you're playing against that good of competition every day. There's going to be big leaguers on my team, on teams that we play against in this league. So it's pretty cool, It's just a great experience also, and something that's I'll take away from a lot, just the tradition of the league and the history.
So I've always wanted to get a firsthand opinion from a player because I always thought it was a draft. I thought it was recruiting, maybe a little bit of recruiting. What's the process of being at LSU and joining a Cape League team?
So the way it works is, I guess our college coaches have relationships with the coaches in this league and like the GMs, the presidents, and all that. So, say my coach for the Mariners reaches out to my college coaches, hey, which kids would you want to send me for the following summer? I'm looking for an infielder, an outfielder, a pitcher. And he's like, oh yeah, I got a couple guys. So they kind of build that relationship. So LSU has been sending players to Harwich for a number of years now.
Same with Florida.
Florida does the same thing, and like say with Chatham, they get a lot of Oklahoma State guys.
Yeah, I know they have 2 Vanderbilts, so I think it's
Vanderbilt. Yeah,
okay, so it's like a relationship process.
Yeah, relationship process. And then with us, our coach just kind of tells us in the fall, is like, hey, I reached out to this guy. Here's where I'm going to send you for the summer. And then they send you over a contract and you sign it. So we don't have much say, but it's more up to the coaches and our college coach. They're going to place us.
Okay, so something I talked about with Cooper Davis in a previous interview. So he wasn't here at the beginning of the summer. Do you find it kind of like a major league team in a way that, I remember there were guys, Logan Allen was here at the beginning of the summer, and he just goes, and another guy comes in from a different school. I forget, I don't know his name. Who's the catcher from Babs who just recently came to the Mariners?
Yeah, I know his nickname, but it's probably not appropriate to say.
Okay, we shouldn't say it then. But
Sean, his name's Sean.
Sean. So, do you find that it's interesting how guys can just come in and go however it happens?
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool because you meet a ton of different people. There'll be like 50 kids throughout the course of the summer playing for the Mariners, but everyone's kind of in separate times. But yeah, it's cool because you just meet a bunch of guys. You get to know a lot of guys, you make friends that you never thought you would make, So it's cool. But yeah, it's kind of weird having guys come and go all the time. But it's just something you get used to, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely happens in the pros for sure.
Yeah.
So something that has happened in the last 2 games with Chatham, including the playoff game, is you guys have shut them out. The first one was 11-13 nothing, and the last night you guys beat them 1-0 in their place, combined no-hitter. And that was really an interesting thing after what happened this year with you guys. It was pretty much a season split. Both of you guys had each other's number. Recently, the story has changed. What do you think has led to that?
I think with us, we've gotten a lot better these last couple weeks offensively. And I think we just got guys that are clicking right now. We're kind of getting hot at the right time. But with Chatham, you just play a team so much, you kind of start to see the same arms over and over, and you kind of get used to it. And you get an understanding of their tendencies and how they're going to pitch you. So it's just more of like playing the same team, seeing the same guys over and over, and you kind of just get comfortable in that setting.
So, especially in my opinion, and you can probably agree or disagree, I think the Cape League, I don't really think there's a home field advantage. It's not like the fans are too rowdy or going to get in your head.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it's definitely a league where getting hot at the right time is the most important thing? Because Chatham looked like they were going to run away with the regular season crown. And then they had their struggles. All of a sudden, Falmouth wins like 9 out of 10. And it seems like you guys are for sure heating up at the right time. Do you think that is the most important thing?
I do. I really do. And with a league like this, like we were talking about earlier, our guys are coming and going. They could have guys that have been good from the whole year, but they were on an innings limit with their college coach. So some of their best arms might be leaving.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that happens with some pitchers. So it's kind of weird when it gets into playoff time because a team might be a different team than what they had 3 weeks ago when they were playing really good.
Okay.
So it's about, like you said, it's about playing good at the right time and just kind of getting hot, getting everyone going.
So you said that coaches have an innings limit on some pitchers in college. Yeah. Do the pros ever have an influence? Because kids are drafted here in this league.
Right. No, they don't because they're not under control. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not until you're drafted. But a lot of colleges, you don't want a guy coming out here throwing 100 innings after he just threw a ton.
No, you don't.
So everyone's got every coach has their requirements for what a guy's supposed to do. And if a guy reaches his limit, he's got to go home.
Yeah.
And it kind of screws over the team, but it's just kind of the way it works.
Yeah, so I think personally mine was the blowout win was my favorite memory so far. Against Chatham. What's been your favorite memory so far? Obviously, if you win the whole thing, that's the best memory. So, what's the best memory so far?
Yeah, there's been a lot that stick out in my head. We've thrown 2 no-hitters, one by Jacob Palish, and then last night, of course, with Connor McCullough and Joe Boyle. That's pretty cool. You know, it's very rare to be a part of a
Boyle
no-hitter.
hit 101, right?
Yeah. So it's crazy to be a part of a no-hitter, and we've actually been a part of 2 this summer, so that's awesome. Also, we've had 2 guys that have had 3 home run games. Nico,
yeah, I did a few.
And Chris Lanzilli. So it's been crazy, man. Like there's been some really cool things that you rarely see, but it's happened a couple times up here. So I'd say those things, no hitters and then the 3 home run games.
Okay. And one last question, I always like throwing a curveball question that they don't know. In terms of college, do you think it's the right fit or the bigger program? Because obviously baseball, a lot of the guys that come out, big SEC, Big Ten, but obviously you look at basketball. I know it's a different sport, but like guys like Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they didn't go to Power 5 schools.
Right. Or like a guy like Ja Morant.
Yeah, and they're going to make noise in the league. What are your thoughts on that in terms of certain guys don't need to go to huge schools?
Yeah, I definitely think it's more about the right fit than the name of the program.
Mm-hmm.
Like some guys develop later. You know what I'm saying?
Aaron Judge went to Fresno State.
It takes a little while for some guys to develop, and I think if you're not at a place where you're playing every day, then you're at the wrong place.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what. A lot of kids, I think, in today's world get caught up in the social media and putting it on Twitter. I've committed to this school.
Oh, I received an offer.
Yeah, exactly.
So many kids with Providence basketball are saying, I received an offer.
Yeah.
They might not even go there.
Right, but that's not what it's about. It's about playing at the right place, playing for a school that you love, playing for coaches that you love, and just getting on the field and trying to maximize your potential.
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely worked out so far. I wish you the best of luck tonight, and thanks for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
That's another episode of Just Say Guay. Thanks again.